the next world within an hour. Anyway, or within half an hour. Because I do plan to try to make these only 2 parts, and I do have, like, another situation to talk about. But as you saw from that boss fight, we got the Death Tornado Spin, which gives Crash a temporary hover. Of course, I know this world a bit too well, because I should really get into the habit of doing the last level first. And as you can tell, we have Engine as the boss of the 4th warp room. This will be the last warp room we'll be going over and such. And I believe this particular warp room should have one of the last things we'll look at today. This was the one level I remember the most from playing the prototypes of the games. And I was trying to show off a glitch that happened to me when I was playing it and when I was screen sharing it to my friends. The reason why I'm going here first is because there's a skull route in this particular stage. And, like, the one thing I was trying to show off was a glitch that had Crash entering the walls and then just, zooming across the map. And I only got it to work, like, it's just, like, I hate that I got it to happen when I wasn't recording. And there are other things I need to show off. Just make Crash. Sorry, performance anxiety is getting to me. Like, I still have the prototype episodes to record, and oh yeah, I have to. I didn't mean to do that, but that was cool. So I have to hit this. Double jump. And just tornado spin. That is not an easy jump for me to do, because I'm always worried about, like, I'm trying to tap spin, but I'm trying not to make sure it lasts too long because of the end lag, and hoping that I don't end up hitting the TNT crate while I'm spinning. And yes, I know of the glitch where players do a TNT crate jump, where they spin and jump off it in time for so that their hitbox does not end up blowing them up. $99 US. If I had 106 Wumpa Fruit, that would have been another life from the stage. If there's one thing I noticed from the Japanese version of this game, is that lives are way more plentiful here. I don't know if they were just as plentiful in the English version. I certainly didn't have 58 lives entering Tomb Raider. Because most of the time, I usually end up like with 50 or 60 or even 70 by the time I'm finished with a playthrough. But I think the first time I ever got into 99 was the Let's Play. And, like, I always like to get to 99 lives in Crash Bandicoot. Like, every time I play Crash Bandicoot 2, I am aware of the little oversight of the one hidden pathway of one of the levels. My memory of Crash 2 isn't exactly the best right now, but it was basically the one level that that had you ducking underneath bullets, very slow moving bullets, and there was two 1-up crates like in one of the sections. The one thing that I'm sure they forgot to do was set a flag to say if player has collected the crate, and if the player is correct has collected the crate, regardless if they exited the path or died, do not respawn 1-up, but that particular crate will always respawn as 1-ups, and that way you can use it as a means of just grinding lives, and sometimes I do that. Like, Crash 2 was the first game that basically kept your lives, and I just noticed the slowdown on... Okay, That's another glitch that happens in all versions of the game, including prototypes. I was at the end. Good job, me. Good job. I was going to talk about a thing that happens in all versions of the game. Like a certain part of the skull route, like the music, like it overlaps with the music trigger for the normal route. So sometimes you'll be going through the so when you're going through this particular route, you will have a moment where the game just glitches, just not really glitches, but is in a section where it's overlapping with the normal path. So you're hearing the normal music in the skull route platform. Ugh. So yeah. So now let's collect the blue gem and then die. So now, because we have the blue gem, we can continue on the normal pathway. I can only remember my more my more less than refined pathways through this stage and such. And this was a stage I somehow found it to be very fun to good job, me. Somehow be really fun to do time trial in because of just finding the route where you get all invincibilities and then just basically booking it for when the water goes low. Because if you have enough time, you can, well, more than just qualify for the platinum relic. Because it's all about just trying to time it right so that when you start, the water has basically, like, the tide goes out and all you need to do is just run, make sure you jump on certain boxes, make sure you hit Aku crates, make sure you don't get hit to keep those crates, and then when that happens, ooh, yeah, you saw how close that was to hitting me. And then when you get your masks and the water has gone shallow, all you need to do is just run. Because it's just, I think the fun of it is, I am very clumsy. I think the fun of it is basically just when you get your route going. And while I understand why you would prefer Crash 2 for how it's just pure platforming, just how you like Crash and such, it's just that for certain stages it probably wouldn't be fun to do time trial in or something. For a game like this, it's just like, I kind of need to be in the mood to dedicate time to just basically go for those relics and try to get the best ending while getting the max percentage. Because you are rewarded for your efforts. Ooh, that was cool. There we go, Crash. And now, another set. It's all about just finding that perfect line and such, and some stages are easier said than done. Like I'm pretty sure that you probably would have enjoyed these when you were much younger and you had more time in your hand. But if you're much older and time is not of the most plentiful resource, you will probably get sick of these pretty quickly. Like, some people are able to dedicate their efforts and such to just making sure they're still on the top of their game. And of course we have this stage, which when I was playing this as a teenager, it took me the longest to find those four boxes because I was just stuck figuring out where the heck were the remaining boxes, and then and then it's just basically I discovered that there were 4 boxes I missed because I didn't think to look backwards. Was it because it was a tribute to Crash Bandicoot 1, or was it because time trial? It's probably the latter. And no, I'm not jumping on the monkeys this time. I've already done that. I don't think there's anything different with that. I meant to do that. You can tell that part of me has died inside and outside too. There we go. Well, at the very least, I've done some science. Gotta be careful around these things because it's only when they're poking out that they will hurt. And I think the reason why this level is not exactly my favorite in terms of the Egypt levels is simply because of just some things that that just simply because of Crash Bandicoot 2. Just the issues of Crash Bandicoot 2. I want to say I got everything here. Yes, I did. Okay. Because the problem is that, like, you have to go one pathway to get its boxes, and you have to go back this way enough to make sure you got all their boxes before going forward, and that's just one thing that I don't like about Crash 2. Like, I may have turned around on Crash 2 and such, but if there's one thing that has not aged the best about Crash 2, it's that Crash 2 just loved having you go into, like, forks in the road, and, ooh, I cheated death there. And just having you go back through both pathways, and because the camera is meant to be stuck behind you, it does not accommodate for you trying to go against the camera. And believe me, like, I may enjoy Crash 2 a lot more now, but I certainly do not enjoy certain aspects about it. Oof. Okay, so this skull route platform, or gem route, that is, it has iron checkpoints in them. And if I want to get both gems, I have to not hit any of those checkpoints. So, it's going to be a gauntlet. Ugh. Oh gosh. So, yeah. I'm trying to save the, like, unused content talk for when I'm talking about the prototypes and such. But, because I never got to talk about it when I was fighting Entropy, I missed a life, but I got through. I might as well talk about it now. Entropy went through a lot of redesigns. The theme stayed consistent, but the one thing that just basically changed a lot was how Entropy's torso was designed. There were a lot of designs by Charles Zimbalist that basically I can't really fit all of them in the video. But now that I have the gem, time to continue on the normal pathway. There were a lot of designs for engine that not okay, that's probably saved for a Crash Bandicoot 2. Huh? I'm just trying to fill the air, so I'm not meandering and such. I'm trying to make sure this is as informative as possible. But then that stuff happens. I have to keep this part now. Okay. So, okay, I meant to say Entropy there, but Entropy had a lot of different designs that I cannot fit into this video. Like, the reason why I'll link the TCRF pages when due is likely because there is a lot of documentation about Crash Bandicoot 3's development. Like, I think there's one thing that I can appreciate from the Crash community is basically the amount of research that is done on these games and the documenting and such. It's because of that that makes me want to talk about these games and talk about some of the lesser known things about them. Like, Entropy changed a lot. Like, he had so many designs. And that's not the last character that has changed rather drastically in terms of concept and character. We'll get to another when we get to Crash Team Racing, and I can't wait to let's play that game. Because it's my favorite game of all... It's one of my favorite games of all time. It got me into Crash Bandicoot, which is funny because you don't really introduce someone to a series through a kart racer. I was very worried to video games that I was, like, worried that things would be too hard for me to even beat. There we go. Ugh. But, yeah. But since we're talking about, antagonists and such, let's talk about Uka Uka. Uka Uka did not change that much from development. There were very few concept sketches of him. Like, not to say there wasn't any, but... This is me forgetting to hit slide much sooner. Good job, me. But in terms of Uka Uka, Uka Uka did not change that much. All he did was basically get more design refinements as as development continued. Basically, it's just like you had this basic sketch without the things on top of him. Like, then he got, like, and then just later he would just get the very bones and flames that basically really reflect that Uka Uka is Aku Aku's opposite. Like Uka Uka is like his color palette is more darker, more sinister and such, while Aku Aku is more lively and more vivid, lively, and more bright and colorful. And like that, I finally did a playthrough of this stage with both gems. You can tell from their designs, like, you have one that's more evil, more fueled by hate, more about using his power from malice, while Aku Aku is more caring, more like he's not, like, he looks more like a tree because he's more lively, he's more about showing life, the color in life and such. Stuff like that. And to really drive it home, you have Aku Aku, you have Uka Uka being Aku Aku's name backwards. And for such a name, it's simple yet effective. So, let's talk about the airplane stages. Since I won't be able to go over Mad Bombers, we're not going to be able to see the biplane that Crash controls. But, so, as far as I'm aware, Coco's plane does not have a name. At least not to the trailer. That's the one vehicle they did not go over in the one trailer I looked at. And we'll be looking at that when we get to the prototypes. So, the biplane that Crash controls is known as the Orange Baron. Likely a reference to often a name given to pilots at this time, barons and such. And the stage we're in, so Bye Bye Blimps takes place in France, while Mad Bombers takes place in Russia. you control Coco for Bye Bye Blimps, but you control Crash for for Mad Bombers, and oof, yeah. So another thing, if I had to guess what Coco's plane would have been named, I can only assume it would either be called the Pink Baroness. Like, that's probably my best guess because I think these are just referred to just by standard names like the airplane, the motorcycle, the jet ski, and such. And that's probably my best guess to all this. Now, I apologize if my playing is a bit rusty. It has been a while since I covered this, but hey, that was Hotel Sierra. Fortunately, we should be done by the time I reach the 1 hour mark, and fortunately, should make this just a two video part of the project. So yeah, that's all the location names I could think of. Oh. Excuse the naughty dogs in the background. Womp womp. But now that we've met Engine, I might as well talk about one thing that about some things about Engine, the voice filter. I gotta wonder, what did they do to do the voice filter for Engine to give him his more robotic filter for the voice? Because while you have the one thing people do for modern Engine, I do wish that for like any later appearances of Engine, like they would have just kept it having more of a robotic filter and such, so you can tell, like you can hear some of the techno synthesized whatevers. Just dang it. Like, you gotta wonder, what are the unfiltered sound voice clips for Engine? Like, do they even exist at this point? Like, are they in an archive somewhere and they just need to be resurfaced? Because while there have been there have been prototypes that recently unearthed, like, say, unfiltered versions of of certain voice clips. Like, for example, Sonic Heroes, you will have, like, unfiltered versions of Ryan Drummond voicing Neo Metal. And, like, you can tell why they added the filter to add the menace. Like, we are talking about a robot. They're talking about a robot that is willing to surpass their adversary. And then you find, like, prototypes that have unfiltered voice clips as more or less to have them as a placeholder, just so that way the clips are there and the clips work before those clips are like filtered to basically add the effect to it. While some voice clips without the filter have been found for certain games, it's Engine that I have to wonder, will we ever find, like, unfiltered versions of those voice clips? Are there files for them in Crash 2? Are there files for them in Crash 3? Like, are there any prototypes or any sort of, like, data left over from back in the day that survived long enough to basically give us the voice clips for those for Engine that does not have like any filters applied to them, because that's another because it'd be interesting to hear if those exist even after all these years. Because while we are in an era of file sharing and with all the things going on, make sure you back up everything. Make sure you can. All I can say is that if you want to protect the archive just in case, do what you can to support the cause and such. And of course, backup files that have been archived on those systems just in case. I'm so sick of that. Website being targeted. Like, seriously, leave it alone. Leave it alone. A lot of lost history is on there. Like, some of the demos I found it through that website. Leave it alone. Like, it's just some things are not going to be re-released again and such. I know it's a bit of a gray area in some cases, but I'm just so sick of it being targeted all the darn time. But yeah. But, like, for example, we did find, like, a prototype of Crash Team Racing that had all the characters' placeholder voice clips. And those particular voice clips were, of course, you have Crash Yay 1, Crash Yay 2, Coco Yay 1, Coco Yay 2. They have been retrieved from the demo. They don't even play in that particular prototype. And it's amazing how you can indeed, you would eventually find those missing pieces all these years later. And, like, I might as well talk about this to wrap this up before we get to the prototype episodes. The E3 prototype to Crash Bandicoot 3. I'll be covering a little bit of it before I start doing the Crash Bandicoot 3 prototype episodes. And that'll be basically talking about hoping that someone finds the E3 prototype of this game. We have found the E3 prototypes to Crash Bandicoot 1 and 2, and those prototypes do show how drastically different the game, the game in terms of presentation was. Like, when I covered Crash Bandicoot 2, it basically proved to me that yes, this was the same engine that Crash 1 was built off of. And to prove that theory true, the infinite items glitch, there's a param table for the Crash 1 because the infinite items glitch should exist in that version. And to drive that point home, the thing is that the reason why people don't do the infinite items glitch for Crash 1 is because, one, it's much harder to do given that Crash that cannot crouch, meaning that you would probably have to constantly spin on the ground before jumping again. And even then, the best you'd probably get is just gems and such. Are they allocated much earlier in the data? Maybe you're getting duplicate gems because when you use a cheat to activate the debug mode for the retail version, unlocking everything gives you 2 gems in each stage. I want to say it's something that was there to test out the gem placements, because in some stages you'll be collecting both a gem and a key, or a couple of stages. There's only 2 keys in the game, and I want to say those keys were probably replaced by other elements such as skull routes and gem pathways and such. I don't know, but but it's just like it was just something I found interesting to talk about because we can tell those clips are filtered, and I wish I could figure out like what kind of thing to do to get that very techno sounding filter for such a voice, because I don't know about you, I love just robotic sounding like voice filters to make your voice sound like a robot or something. And I got nervous. I don't know about you, but I really like those like robotic voice filters for certain games and such, where it's all about just like it sounds musical, it sounds harmonic, it sounds futuristic and cool, and it's one of those things I would happily use if I ever was in voice calls with like a voice mod or something, because it's such a cool because it's so cool to hear yourself just sounding like a machine or something like that. And, yeah. So, the other thing is that we do not have a proper first name for Dr. Engine. It's just Engine. Like, no one knows what his first name was supposed to be. And I remember someone suggesting Engine's first name be Nolan, after Nolan North, the voice of Engine in the Tattoo Crash games. And I have acquired copies of those. It's just I'm just missing the DS version of Crash the Titans because I do want to cover that version. Here's me forgetting about hitboxes. Wow. Oop. Don't get too close to the Nitro, Giga. But I have acquired those, the Wii versions and such. Though there's a part of me that wishes I would have gotten them for the PlayStation 2. Ironically enough, despite having Xbox 360 versions, those games were never given PlayStation 3 versions. But yeah. Ugh. Let's go take the fight to Engine now. Let's go take the fight to Engine, and yeah, like I'm not going to cover the final world for a reason, because it's just I don't think it'd be all that different. So yeah. So tell me, why the heck does the Baron levels not have a crosshair, but these levels do? Because I've explained, like I even done some research on this, that airplanes even back then had like a crosshair on the nose for aiming. Like, why make the crosshair for the boss fight, but not for the level in question? Because it only makes probably like dang it. That's the problem with this boss fight. As much as it's my favorite boss in the game, it's just trying to make sure you are aiming enough at the area without eating plasma. Still, this boss fight is really cool. We're on the moon. I'm pretty sure we're in present day, too. But it's just like, it bothers me that we have a crosshair here, but not for the levels, but not for the levels where it would have made sense. Because it's just, it makes the platinums for the airplane levels much harder than they look. And there are 3 of them in the game. I've already went over it and such, and even then, I had to cut around. I had to cut around just to basically try to get the platinum and such. And I think it was a perfect coincidence that the last part, the finale of the Let's Play, was 1 hour and 5 minutes. Ugh. So, yeah. So, excuse me while I try to finish this boss fight. I applaud anyone who can do this boss fight without taking a single bullet or missile or energy gem to the face. Because it's easier said than done, and all you have to do is hit the weak points that are flashing. Like, again, I still love this boss fight, no matter how many times I play this game, because it's just the scenery and thematics that make everything. Come on. And I did that in 1 life. And now we have the Fruit Bazooka. So I can't really show this off in the Japanese version since we are stopping our playthrough before the final world. I'm not sure if that's supposed to cut off that early. But yeah. I think that should be about it. So, yeah. I hope I was able to keep you entertained while going over this version as best I could. But if you want to donate, there are a couple links in the description below. You can ask to have your name read in an upcoming or future Let's Play. Just let me know if you want it read and how to pronounce it and all that jazz. If you want to follow this series and all that and others like it, it's just a click of the subscribe button and the bell and you'll be on your way. But you don't have to if you don't want to. I hope you're taking really good care of yourself. And as Crash gets himself under wraps with his yo-yo, I shall now bid you adieu. Crash, don't prove me wrong. Come on, Crash. Oh, I guess he's not going to do it this time. Oh, thank you for proving me wrong, Crash. Man, having a special mask made and shipped to go straight to your place. I always forget how good these FMVs look for the time. Like, I guess that's the power of the PlayStation.